Hey, this is Maria, and I'm back here on another channel. This is my new YouTube channel, and it's called Wisteria 71. And I wanted to make this channel different than my other channel. There's several different ideas that have rolling around in my head, and I thought, I miss doing videos that allowed me to express myself in terms of spirituality. And I wanted to make videos because this is the sort of thing that gives me energy. It motivates me. Now, some people say, well, that's the kind of work you need to be doing. I personally have a belief that my spiritual matters should be completely separate from my work matters. That's who I am. It's a part of who it is a form of a belief system that I have created for myself because it makes sense. All because of I have seen greed, I have seen hypocrisy, and I personally think that spirituality needs to be in a very pure form. It needs to seek nothing. It needs to ask for nothing, but just receive whatever is to come to us, through vision or whatever. So I get the feeling that some people think that, I'm like a witch, and some people use that term, okay? The reason why I don't use that term witch is because okay, I would like to back up a little bit. I suspect that maybe some of my targeting is not just the fact that I don't attend a church. It's because of my ideas in metaphysical studies and how I incorporate them into my life. Yes, I would say I'm a very metaphysical person, meaning I'm interested in those sort of things. I do believe that there is a cause and effect in the universe. I do believe that what you put out there does come back. Many Christians believe this, okay? Some people say, like, do unto others as you would like to do unto yourself, or something along those lines. It's basically, tick for tack. Whatever you put out there, you're going to get back in return. But I don't want to, when it comes to the idea of love, like love of the supernatural power, God, I don't like to put price tags on it. I don't want to ever do anything because it's very pure to me. That's how I feel about it. It is extremely pure. And I like to be intense in every sort of thing that I have and everything that I do. Like, when it comes to friendships, I want real bonds, okay? I don't want lunch mates that are sitting here gossiping and plotting my demise while I'm trying to enjoy a sandwich or something, I want sincerity, okay? So when I have dealt in the past with people who are trying to extract information from me or whatever, with their little game playing, I would immediately want to get away from these people, okay? Because I'm looking for sincerity in everything that I do. And that's how I believe I personally choose to be and live my spiritual path, okay? So I don't like the word witch because, to me, when I think of witch, people think of these, what do you call it? These over-the-top ideas. They think that somebody's like, running around with a cauldron in their backyard or something, something far-fetched, okay, something like that. And I think they associate, now, I don't like to say witch because, to me, when I think of witch, I think of witchcraft, okay? Somebody who, is constantly casting spells on people and wreaking all kinds of havoc, and they got green skin and whatever, wear a witch hat, and they, fly on brooms or something. I don't like those terms, okay? And so I'm not practicing witchcraft. I am basically a spiritual person, meaning that I see a significance in a leaf in a tree. I see the significance in the way the wind blows, okay? I like nature, okay? And so I try to connect with it. Now, I haven't been in a connection with nature in a very long time, okay? Because I've been, dwelling on my problems. And part of the reason why I'm making this channel is because I'm off for a little bit, okay? I don't know when I'm going to go back to work, but I'm off for a little bit, and I want to get back to myself, my center. And I've been, in a constant state of anxiety for a very long time. So I want to use this time to do something that is going to make me happy, because God knows I have too much time on my hands. So today's topic is sun gazing. Now, some of you may not be familiar with sun gazing, but I'm going to give you a kind of a brief description of what it is. Sun gazing is the act of looking into the sun. Now, I'm sure many of us have been told, like, for example, don't do that because that's going to damage your eyes. I will say that if you look at the sun for long periods of time, you are most likely going to experience some sort of damage, okay? Now, I'm not saying, like, if you looked at the sun for, like, I don't know, 2 minutes, okay, one time in 1 week throughout, you know, all the weeks of the year, I don't think there's going to be any damage to your eyes, okay? I can't guarantee that, but it's highly unlikely, okay? So I'm saying excessive staring into the sun will most likely cause some sort of damage, okay? Now, I've been looking in the sun since I was a kid, before I even realized that it was an ancient practice. Of course, you know, you're hanging outside with your friends or your weird psychotic family, which I don't want to go into right now. But you're sitting around and, you know, all the kids are playing. And because, you know, I'm always off to the side because my family's scapegoating me or whatever, I'm sitting here, like, looking at the sun, right? And so, you know, I would do this for a very long period of time. And, you know, it's funny because, like, when I would look at the sun, I would see a blue dot in the middle of it. And for many years, I thought everybody saw that blue dot. Like, and I would draw, like, if we were drawing you know, pictures in school, I was the kid who had, like, the blue dot in the middle of the sun, okay? And so I was talking to a friend as I got older. I would say, like, you know, I don't know, 20-something years later, I was talking to a friend on the phone, and I said, you know, there's a blue dot in the sun. She's like, Maria, there is no blue dot in the sun. I'm like, there's not. You know, so maybe I'm having certain visions in the sun that other people don't have, okay? So if you are willing to try this experiment, I would encourage you to do so. If you look at the sun for maybe about 10 minutes during certain parts of the day and see if you see a blue dot. If you do, then great, okay? So that means that I'm cool with that, okay? But if you do, you might see something else. You might see a white sphere. You might see something else in the sun, okay? But sun gazing... The main purpose of sun gazing as I got older and I realized what the value and the benefit was is because it enhances your pineal gland, okay? Now, it's funny because for years I was in the habit of calling it a pineal gland. But the pineal gland is actually it's like it's the center here on your forehead, okay? It's in the middle of your forehead, okay? And so it is about the size of a pea. And it's reddish and it's gray in color in the inside, okay? I mean, you can't see it, but it's right here between your two, the upper part of your eye. Like if you drew a triangle, and it's right here. Okay, so you've probably seen depictions of, like, Egyptian and Indian art with this little dot on the head, okay? Well, that's the emphasis of the third eye, which is called the pineal gland, okay? The purpose of it is to enhance that, to open it up to, you know, so that you can be able to be more aware of what is around you. So, you know, I myself, when I'm talking about what's aware around us, I'm speaking of what is spiritually taking a place around you, okay, what you're feeling, and things that are near you, and to feel these vibrations intensely, okay? So the purpose of sun gazing is because it enhances the pineal gland. And oh gosh, I wanted to say something else about that. I was going to say that the pineal gland produces melatonin, and that's the hormone that affects the modulation of sleep and the wake patterns, okay? So it has a specific function, okay, when it relates to our everyday life, okay? But when it comes to the spirit life, because it has such a connection between the sleep and the wake patterns, it also has a significance in our spiritual life as well. So by looking at the sunlight, it stimulates this. One way of testing if you can intensify your third eye vision is by staring into a bright light and lightly tapping your forehead. Okay, if you can actually see your fingers as you're touching it with your eyes closed, okay, and you're actually seeing the tapping, and you might notice that there is some sort of, you know, tracer that's kind of spreading around, you know, in your head. If you can see it, okay, that is a good way of seeing if you are able to get the benefits of sun gazing, okay. So there's different times to sun gaze, okay. Sun gazing is a good time. I'm sweating like you don't even know. There is no air conditioner in this room. Okay, so sun gazing is it can be done in different times of the day, okay? Like, for example, and it can be used to enhance prayer. So if you pray, let's just say, for example, you pray each morning, you might want to face a certain direction. Now, that is not a lot of, religious groups face east during their prayers, okay? That is not from a religious group. It's just because the sun's going to be rising in the east, okay? So don't even think about calling me a Muslim or any weird bullshit like that, because we know that's not true. So in the morning, you could go out and you can look at the sun. If you're praying about things, it's a good thing. Like, for example, if you're praying about times in the morning, I kind of separate my days, okay? Like, for example, things I pray or meditate on in the morning is going to be completely different at night, okay? So this is my little ritual or my little habit or whatever you want to call it, okay? So when I think of sun gazing in the morning, I think of, new beginnings, fresh start, healing, okay, or giving more vibrant energy, just kind of renewing myself, okay? So I would probably look into the sun for a few seconds, okay, no more than 15 seconds, and then what I do is I close my eyes and I let the pineal gland become stimulated, and then I start to feel a sense of well-being, okay? So that is a good thing to do if you want to enhance your prayer. Also, sun gazing in the afternoon is also a good time for sun gazing as well. During that time, you might think about, business matters, career moves, things that relate to money, things of that nature, things that you can actually benefit from, okay, things that you're asking for, not out of greed, okay, but things asking for what you need, okay. So, like, for example, if you pray at a certain time, if you're praying for certain things, maybe you're praying to, I don't know, win the lottery, okay? I can't think of anything else, because I don't usually make those kind of prayers. Most of mine are for meditation and filling myself up, but this is just an example, okay? So you're trying to win the lottery, okay? Chances are you probably won't win, okay? So I don't even know why you waste your time, but it would be a good time to do it at that hour, okay? So I'm saying anywhere from between 12 o'clock to the 2 o'clock hour. Okay, and so of course you would stare at the sun for 15 minutes, and you would remember what you were saying in your prayer, and you're tapping your forehead, and you're receiving that. Okay, it's a way of intensifying your prayer and experiencing it emotionally and in a way that creates a vibration that would most likely have a positive outcome. Now, in the evenings, I would say that when the sun's going down, that is also a nice time for evening prayer. People who passed away. Another healing issue, not so much filling yourself up with energy that's vibrating, but filling yourself up with calm, soothing vibrations, those sort of things. So sun gazing is great to incorporate into your daily life if you want to try it. And I would love to see if you do see that blue dot. So I'm going to encourage you to give it a try. If you do see it, the blue dot, let me know. So I'm going to wrap this video up at this moment because I'm getting tired of standing here and I'm sweating like you don't even know. Be back with another video later. Take care. Bye-bye.